The Super 10 of North American Big Game has quickly become the most popular award within the Grand Slam Club Ovis family of SlamQuest, and rightfully so. To accomplish the Super 10, one must do a lot of big game hunting in many different parts of North America. Furthermore, one must hunt not only the mountain species, but the broad range of antlered game, and yes, the big predators as well. We're proud to have introduced the Super 10 milestone to big game hunters in late 2009, and we're excited to be able to recognize so many tonight. We'll be breaking these Super 10 awards into groups, so please hold your applause until everyone in each group has been introduced. As your name is called, please quickly make your way to the stage now for our first group. First, we'd like to recognize George Bierman of Pennsylvania for achieving his Super 10 milestone, and we'll start with his Wyoming mule deer taken in 2015. George took an impressive Alaska brown bear in May 2016, and in 2018, he connected on one of the heavy antlered whitetails that Saskatchewan is so famous for producing. George completed his Super 10 in October 2019 with an antelope from Alberta, Canada. Colorado's Ryan Blackwelder is up next, and he achieved his Super 10 milestone in October 2018 with a Canada moose from Newfoundland. On that same hunt, Ryan also connected on a woodland caribou. Backing up, you see Ryan with his Alaska doll ram from 2006. Moving a bit closer to the present, Ryan arrowed a tremendous whitetail in Kansas in November 2018 on a self-guided hunt. Our next Super 10 milestone goes to Alberta's John Bottomley. John took a cougar from his home province back in 2011, and a few years later, he traveled to Nunavut for polar bear and got a fine one there as well. John found himself in Nunavut once more in 2018, only this time in pursuit of muskox, and he completed his Super 10 with an American mountain goat from Alaska, a hunt he actually won on GSCO's Super Slam drawings. We'd like to recognize Maddie Demoski of Colorado for achieving her Super 10 milestone. Number 10 on the list for Maddie was a mountain caribou from NWT taken back in 2015. Maddie took a Shiras moose in Wyoming back in 2010, and that same year she got a bison from her home state of Colorado. The Alaska brown bear is next for Maddie, and she took it on Kodiak Island, Alaska in 2014. Next, we'd like to recognize Chris Deanda from right here in Nevada for achieving his Super 10, and we'll start with a home state cougar he got back in 2006. Later that same year, Chris hunted Alaska brown bears and scored on a giant. The following year, Chris took a huge Alaska Yukon moose, and on that same hunt, he took his first sheep toward an eventual Grand Slam, a doll from the Northwest Territories. Next up for Super 10 recognition is Jeff Eno of the Yukon. Jeff achieved his Super 10 in November 2019 with a Canadian moose from Alberta. He took a home province mountain caribou in 2011 and had a busy year in 2019 to wrap up his Super 10. Jeff hunted elk in New Mexico in September and arrowed a fine bull. His Alberta antelope was next, and he took it on a hunt in October to wrap up his Super 10 presentation. We'd like to congratulate Mexico's Ivan Flores for qualifying for the Super 10 milestone. One of the earliest trophies we have on file for Ivan was his Rocky Mountain elk from Colorado taken in 1999. He took a Desert Bighorn self-guided from his home country of Mexico in 2011, and he traveled to the Yukon in 2016, where he was successful from an Alaska Yukon moose. Ivan achieved his Super 10 in November 2019 with a bison. It was a Shiras moose that got Randy Fries of Connecticut to the Super 10, and he took that bull in October 2018 on a hunt in southern British Columbia. Backing up, we have Randy's self-guided Rocky Mountain elk from Idaho, taken in 2011. Another self-guided trophy from Randy's list is his home state whitetail, taken in 2016. We'll finish up by showing you Randy's woodland caribou from Newfoundland, also taken in 2016. Leonard Gardner of Oklahoma did a lot of his North American big game hunting throughout the 1980s and 1990s. In 1986, he traveled to King Salmon, Alaska to get his barren ground caribou, and the following year took an American mountain goat self-guided in Colorado. Moving closer to the present, we'd like to show you Leonard's Alaska Yukon moose taken in 2003, and he completed his Super 10 in November 2017 with a bison from British Columbia. Hailing from Maryland, Tom Garvin is our next member to recognize for achieving the Super 10 milestone. Tom's Quebec Labrador Caribou from 1992 was taken using a primitive muzzle loader with open sights. In 2007, he used his bow and arrow to collect a black bear. Tom elected to hunt with modern weapons on his two mountain animals for the Super 10, and they were his American mountain goat from Alaska in 2009 and his doll ram, also taken in Alaska in September 2019. We'd now like to call Alberta's Dale Hislop to the stage. In 2005, Dale traveled to NWT, where he was successful in taking a mountain caribou. The following year, Dale took a Canada moose on a hunt in British Columbia. He has taken some great pronghorn antelope over the years, but the buck he got in 2014 was a true giant. Dale finished his Super 10 milestone in October 2019 with an American mountain goat from Kodiak Island, Alaska. Todd Hoftizer of Wisconsin completed his Super 10 milestone back in 2012 with an American mountain goat from Kodiak Island, Alaska. Todd traveled back to Alaska in 2014 and got a great Alaska Yukon moose. Todd is a half slammer, and his first North American ram was a doll from Alaska's Brooks Range taken in 2015. We'll finish up with a muskox, which Todd arrowed on a hunt in NWT back in April 2019. That completes Group 1. And now for our next group. Pennsylvania's Justin Marinkoff achieved his Super 10 milestone in November 2019 with an American mountain goat from British Columbia. Justin has taken some impressive trophies towards his Super 10, including a Rocky Mountain elk from here in Nevada back in 2015. Justin connected on a stone ram in BC in 2017, and finally, we'd like to show his great Alberta mountain lion, which he got in 2018. We're also pleased to recognize Jim Matheson of Nebraska for completing his Super 10 milestone. In 2010, Jim checked the bear category off his list after taking an Alaska brown bear. He traveled to Sonora, Mexico in 2015 and was successful in harvesting a Coues steer. Later that same year, Jim took a Shiras moose on a hunt in Utah, and Jim completed his Super 10 with a barren ground caribou from Alaska taken on a self-guided hunt. Jeff McMurdy is up next, and we'll begin with his Sitka black-tailed deer from Kodiak Island, Alaska, which he took back in 2011. Jeff's great black bear from British Columbia was taken in 2017, and the following year, he traveled to Newfoundland to get a woodland caribou. Jeff's Super 10 journey came to an end in March 2018 on a hunt in Nunavut, where he found success on his last trophy, a muskox. It was a 33-year journey from start to finish for Jim Morehouse of Arizona to achieve his Super 10 milestone. The first trophies we have from Jim date back to 1974, when he did a self-guided hunt in Alaska, taking a doll sheep and Alaska Yukon moose. On another self-guided Alaska hunt in 1989, Jim connected on a barren ground caribou. He took a Rocky Mountain elk in his home state of Arizona in 1999, and Jim completed his Super 10 in September 2007 with a pronghorn antelope in New Mexico. We'd now like to recognize Craig Mueller of Idaho for completing his Super 10 milestone. Craig has taken 2 moose from the Super Slam list, but his first, a Canada moose, came in 2015 on a hunt in Newfoundland. In 2018, Craig took a mule deer in Alberta, and he traveled to Mexico in January 2019 to add a great Coues steer to his list. Like many others, Craig completed his Super 10 with an American mountain goat, which was taken in British Columbia in October 2019. Rick Roca of California completed his Super 10 milestone in February 2019 with a mountain lion from Wyoming. He traveled to British Columbia in 2013 and was successful in taking a grizzly bear. Rick hunted BC once again in 2017, only this time he was after stone sheep, and he got a fine ram there. We'll round out Rick's Super 10 presentation with his home state Thule elk taken in August 2017. One of the earliest entries we have from Wyoming's Larry Thoney is a home state pronghorn that he took self-guided in 1978. Moving along to the 1980s, you see Larry with another self-guided Wyoming trophy, a fine mule deer. Larry was successful on taking an Alaska Doll Ram in 2000, also self-guided, and he completed his Super 10 in 2016 with a Shiras Moose from Wyoming, and you guessed it, it was also taken on a self-guided hunt. Next, we'd like to call Enrique Velasco of Mexico to the stage to receive his Super 10. One of Enrique's earliest trophies on the Super Slam list was his American Mountain Goat from British Columbia, taken back in 2005. Enrique traveled back to BC in 2015 and was successful taking both the Rocky Mountain Elk and Canada Moose. He traveled to Nunavut in May 2019 to get his grizzly bear, which was the last category he needed for his Super 10. Next up for Super 10 recognition, we have Ben Wohlers of Montana. Ben connected on a great home state Rocky Mountain elk in 2011 on a self-guided hunt. Ben has taken several cougars over the years, and this Montana cat was quite impressive. It was also taken self-guided. Each year Ben hunts pronghorn in his home state, and he took this buck in 2015. Ben achieved his Super 10 in November 2014 with a great bison from Nebraska. It was a home state self-guided bison that got Taylor Wohlers of Montana to the Super 10 milestone. She took that huge bull just last month. Taylor and her father, Ben Wohlers, who you just saw do a lot of hunting together, and we're pleased to honor this father-daughter duo here tonight. You saw Taylor's black bear from Idaho and her American Mountain Goat from British Columbia, taken in 2017. We'll finish up with Taylor's Doll sheep from Alaska, which she got in August 2019. Mark Zastro of Watertown, Wisconsin, is up next to receive his Super 10 milestone. In 1988, Mark took a mountain lion on a hunt in Idaho. He traveled to Kodiak Island, Alaska in 1997 and arrowed a Sitka black-tailed deer and used his archery gear once again in 2009 on a hunt in British Columbia, where he connected on a huge bison. Mark's final trophy on the Super 10 list, an American Mountain Goat, came in September 2018, and it too came from Kodiak Island. That completes Group 2. Now we'd like to move on to the Archery Awards, which are presented by Matthews. Pennsylvania bow hunter Tom Edgington not only has an Archery Super 10, but he's quickly closing in on the Archery Super 25 as well. In 2006, he traveled to Pink Mountain, British Columbia, and arrowed a bison. Tom hunted in warmer climates for the Columbia black-tailed deer and Thule elk, which he got on the same hunt in California back in 2012. Tom completed his Super 10 in September 2019 with an Alaska Yukon moose. We're pleased to recognize our next Archery Super 10 holder, Dawn Traub of Wisconsin. Dawn has taken some impressive trophies through her bow hunting pursuits, and her American Mountain Goat from Kodiak Island, Alaska is no exception. Dawn arrowed a great Rocky Mountain elk in Wyoming 2017, and the following year, she added a muskox from Nunavut to her list. Dawn achieved her Archery Super 10 in style with a Desert Bighorn from Carmen Island, Mexico in March 2019. That concludes our Super 10 awards for this evening. Let's give them all a big round of applause.